Today we have Zach Oberon, who is the co-founder of Book in a Box. Actually, if you want to listen to the podcast interview that we have with one of the other co-founders, Tucker Max, just Google Growth Everywhere Tucker Max, and you'll find it, and you actually listen to me get him to reveal one of his really personal stories. So check that one out. Zach, how's it going today?
All good, having fun here.
Great. So Zach actually had a talk yesterday, which was really great, and I think we're going to talk about that a little bit in this short condensed time. But Zach, tell us a little bit about kind of who you are a little more, and then kind of what you do over there at Book in a Box.
Perfect. So yeah, what we do as a company is we help entrepreneurs, experts, professionals, people who really know their subject matter, go from idea to published book. Mm-hmm. So when I was in publishing before, we'd always jump in and help with one little slice and something else would screw up. And we found that what was needed with books was someone to manage the whole process, make it easy, allow the idea, people to focus on their ideas. So we work with those types of people right from the start. We say, hey, let's help you position and structure and outline your book. Let's help interview you. We walk through that outline, kind of talk them through all the points. We write the first draft, we work with them on revisions, and then we handle all the publishing and marketing as well. So it's really everything A to Z.
Got it. So like, what are the main benefits, I guess, for people like wondering like, if they should be doing a book in the future? Like, what can you get out of having a book?
Yeah, so the way I think of it, I mean, there's a lot of different reasons that people do books. The big one is it's in my mind, the best form of content marketing. It is more authoritative than anything else you can do. It facilitates word of mouth better than most other forms of content. And it turns people into fans. It makes you the person in their mind better than other forms of content that you can create. So that's kind of the number one reason. And when I talk to entrepreneurs who have done books, a lot of them think like, great, how do I market this book now? And what we try to change, when we change that frame is like, how do I use this book as a tool for marketing everything else about me forever for the rest of my life?
Got it. And you guys take entrepreneurs, let's say I want to put together a book, you guys will take me from soup to nuts the whole way through to publishing it and marketing it?
Yeah, the whole way through. So yeah, for everyone, we take them from, I've got an idea to my book is out, it's launched, I'm ready to run with it. For some people who want additional work, we can help them leverage that book going forward as well.
Got it. And like, what are some case studies, like some books that you've done in the past that have done well?
Yeah, so I mean, a few in this space. There's a book, Giftology, by John Ruhlin.
Oh yeah, good book.
Great book, yeah. And so he's a perfect example of this. He's #1 Cutco knife salesman in history because he started, instead of selling knives, using them as gifts in order to help companies build stronger relationships. And basically, he's given gifts for 17 years professionally, and he's found all the ways that gifts break through better, they make a stronger impact, they really connect people, they lead to more retention and referrals, and all businesses do gifts wrong, right? They send a mug with their logo on it. And so he's like, I know this, every time I talk to someone, they're like, you're brilliant, you should write a book, I want to learn from this, but he didn't have a way to get that message out there. He just did it for the big companies who could hire him. So Giftology was his way to do that. Book came out, did really well, sold lots of copies, and what he's found since then is when people talk about gifting, even if he's not in the room, that comes up and his name is now in the conversation. And B, when conferences or companies want to learn more about this, they know he's the person to talk to. So he's doubled his speaking fees, he's given 20 keynotes in the last year. He's been able to brand himself as like the gifting guy instead of just being a guy who gives gifts.
Okay, so I've actually gotten that gift before. It's a book in a leather bag, and then I think it's in like a leather tomb, right?
Yeah.
And it's really memorable.
And that's obviously, we don't do that with every book. He is this, because he's such a gifting guy, he said, how do we take this and make me giving my book to someone a memorable, incredible experience instead of just another book?
Got it, okay. So for those people that maybe don't have the money to get started to use a book in a box, I mean, what are some maybe 2 or 3 rapid fire tips you might have for people?
Yeah, so 2 big things. One, the thing that screws every author up is that their first step is to sit down and start writing. They think I'm a writer, I gotta start writing. Really, think about it this way. If you write a whole book down and then you realize the ideas are off, you're now having to manipulate those ideas with 50,000 words of text around them. So step 1 is taking way more time than you think is reasonable to get all the ideas solid, to get it organized, to know who you're reaching, to know why they care before you ever start writing. Second thing that makes writing a book unattainable for a lot of entrepreneurs is the amount of time it takes, right? If you're running a business or you're speaking and you're doing other things, writing a book is hard to fit into your schedule. And what we've realized is once you have this outline, once you have the structure, once you've really done the idea work, writing doesn't need to be the way you get those ideas out. So what we do with our authors is once we have that outline, they get interviewed and they're talking out all the ideas in the book in their words in the right order. and then that's transcribed. Basically what we have at that point is a full draft that's horribly written, but it's all their ideas in the right order. Then we can have an editor work from there because all the ideas are on the page.
Got it.
And so for people who can't afford us, I'd recommend doing the same thing. Once it's organized, you can sit down and record yourself talking through all those ideas, and now you have a bad manuscript that's ready for an editor to help you out with, and you can cut the time down by quite a bit.
Super helpful. I mean, I've heard from book people in the past where it's like, man, maybe you just need to do like, and maybe I can get your take on this. People are talking about how you should do 5 drafts, or your book is probably going to be 5 drafts before you actually even think about releasing it to the public. What are your thoughts around that?
I think it's definitely true that it is more drafts than people expect, like that there's more back and forth and more tweaking, and once you see it and you care about it, it starts to be a bigger thing. I think the reason that it's 5 or like such a high number is because people don't do that thinking up front. And that when you can really get clear, when you know your readers really well, and you know what you want to say and you take the time to organize it, you don't need the structural rewrites that take as much time. You just need a few big shifts, some feedback, some language changes, and the revisions can be condensed quite a bit.
Got it. And how long does it usually take for people to get a book done?
So our loose estimates are from talking to people, normal author, no guidance, dives in like 1,000 to 2,000 hours. When we've taught people how to replicate our process on our own, and I've got a book that I wrote, the Book in a Box Method, that runs through how to do this exactly, and it's free on our website, so you can link to that. If they follow that process, usually about 150 to 200 hours. And then when they work with us, about 30 to 40 hours.
Geez, way shorter.
Way shorter.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So Book in a Box, I mean, out of curiosity, I mean, so how does the service work? How much are people looking to pay, things like that?
Yeah, so we charge $25,000 total. Over the course of 5 months, so it's $5,000 a month, we handle everything, right? That's not the like instructions on how to do it. That is working with the ex-executive editor of HarperCollins to structure the book, and working with a professional writer who does the writing and all of these pieces, and a top-notch cover design. And then when the book comes out, we take 0 of the rights and royalties. So we're a publisher, but the business model is like self-publishing. Once it's out, they own everything. We don't own any of the rights, and so our costs are just that cost that goes into it.
Got it. Well, Zach, I mean, this has been super helpful. Final thing for you, I mean, is there anything else that you'd like to add for aspiring entrepreneurs, or anything around books?
The big thing is, I think a lot of people, when they talk about doing a book, they say, yeah, that's something I want to do one day. And what I encourage people to do is to kind of pick a path, to say, is this something that really genuinely matters to me and I want to do? If it is, there are ways to get through all of those barriers and make it happen in the time you have, no matter what. If it's not really, and it's something that they kind of would rather fantasize about, then make the decision, I'm going to wait 5 years and revisit this, because the sad stories I hear every day on sales calls are, I've been half trying to do this for 10 years and haven't made any progress. Ooh. So my recommendation is commit or decide not to commit.
There you go. Zach, thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.